Hyperborean Souls. If you are a Hyperborean soul, life has always felt solid, serious, and real, in a way that others rarely understand. You feel the weight of existence in your body, in your choices, in the way you move through the world. Stability matters to you. Continuity matters to you. You sense that life stands on fragile foundations, and someone has to make them strong. From early on, you learned to rely on what can be built, touched, protected, and maintained. You trust what endures. You respect effort. You value what lasts longer than emotion or impulse. While others chase inspiration, you make sure the ground does not collapse beneath their feet. Here is something you may have never heard said clearly. Your strength grew through necessity. You became reliable before you were celebrated. You learned to carry responsibility before you were asked if you wanted to. Life shaped you through realism, not illusion. You often feel older than your age. You sense consequences before actions unfold. You move carefully, thoughtfully, with awareness of impact. People lean on you, sometimes without realizing how much pressure that places on your inner world. You become the one who holds form when others drift. This creates a specific inner experience. You feel grounded and capable. At the same time, you carry quiet fatigue. Rest feels conditional. Ease feels postponed. You allow yourself to relax only when everything around you feels secure. Now listen closely. This is where recognition deepens. Inside your steadiness lives a deep sensitivity to connection. Relationships matter profoundly to you. You value loyalty, shared responsibility, and emotional reliability. You seek bonds that feel stable, real, and enduring. You give commitment easily and expect presence in return. When life feels uncertain, you respond by strengthening structure. You build routines. You secure resources. You hold agreements. You create safety through action. Yet inside this solidity lives a quiet longing, a wish for life to feel lighter, a desire to be supported as much as you support, a hope that stability could include warmth, closeness, and shared effort. What you are hearing now names experiences you may have lived without language. It honors the seriousness, depth, and realism you carry. It also recognizes the quiet hope inside you for a life that feels both strong and kind. This is the beginning of recognition for Hyperborean souls. And what follows will show how this grounded strength becomes a source of connection, wisdom, and a deeply meaningful life. This description was created by the StarSeedSoul project to give language to a very grounded and often misunderstood inner experience. It was shaped through listening to how people live inside responsibility, loyalty, and long-term commitment. It speaks to those whose strength shows itself through reliability rather than intensity. What you hear now reflects lived reality, not theory. For Hyperborean souls, relationships are built on substance. You value what is real, stable, and proven over what is exciting or fast. Connection for you grows through time, shared routines, and mutual responsibility. You show care through presence, actions, and consistency. Love feels like something that must be maintained, protected, and honored daily. Here is something that rarely gets said clearly. Your core relationship pain comes from carrying more than you receive. You often become the one who holds the structure of the bond. You remember details. You plan ahead. You make sure life works. Others feel safe with you, sometimes without realizing how much weight you are holding. Over time, this creates a quiet heaviness. You feel dependable and needed. You also feel unseen in your emotional depth. Affection may feel implied rather than expressed. Closeness may feel practical rather than warm. You give stability and weight for recognition that often arrives slowly or indirectly. This pattern tends to repeat across relationships. You connect with someone who appreciates your reliability. They rely on your steadiness and grounded presence. Life together becomes functional and organized. Gradually, emotional initiative shifts toward you as well. You notice that care, responsibility, and follow-through rest mostly on your shoulders. Listen carefully here. This explains something many Hyperborean souls feel, but rarely voice. You stay because you believe in continuity. You value what has been built. You trust effort over impulse. Leaving feels like dismantling something meaningful. So you remain, even when warmth feels distant. You continue providing structure while hoping emotional reciprocity will grow. This cycle shapes how love feels in your body. Connection becomes linked with duty. Closeness becomes linked with reliability. Affection becomes something you express through actions more than words. And still, inside this pattern, there is quiet strength. There is loyalty that does not waver. There is devotion that creates real safety. Your way of loving builds lives, families, and foundations that last. Recognizing this pattern brings the first opening. It allows you to see how much you contribute. It prepares the ground for relationships where stability and warmth exist together, where responsibility is shared, where your depth is met with presence in return. This understanding marks the beginning of a more balanced experience of connection for Hyperborean souls. A subtle shift begins when understanding enters quietly rather than dramatically. You start to sense that connection does not grow through endurance alone. Presence begins to feel as important as reliability. Warmth begins to matter as much as stability. This realization often comes after a long period of carrying, not after explanation. What you are about to hear often feels deeply familiar to Hyperborean souls. Your experience in relationships reflects your experience with the material world. You approach both with seriousness, responsibility, and long-term focus. You value what lasts. You invest time, effort. You prefer slow growth to quick excitement. Money for you represents safety, continuity, and structure. You work consistently. You plan ahead. You think about consequences. You rarely rely on luck. Resources come through effort, discipline, and persistence. At the same time, material life can feel heavy. Earning often feels connected to obligation. Stability feels earned through constant effort. You may create security and still feel tension inside. You may succeed and still feel that enjoyment comes later. Here is something rarely spoken clearly. Your inner conflict lives between solidity and aliveness. You feel valuable when you provide. You feel worthy when you sustain. You feel safe when everything is under control. At the same time, a quieter part of you longs for ease, warmth, and emotional presence. This conflict lives in the body, in the shoulders that hold responsibility, in the breath that stays measured, in the nervous system that relaxes only when everything feels handled. You allow yourself rest after stability, not alongside it. Now pay attention. This is where inspiration begins to appear. As awareness grows, you start noticing that stability becomes stronger when it includes softness. Connection deepens when it includes emotional openness. Material security feels lighter when it includes pleasure and rest. You begin allowing support without losing dignity. You begin sharing responsibility instead of carrying it alone. Money starts to feel like support rather than weight. Work becomes meaningful rather than only necessary. Relationships feel warmer without losing reliability. You choose environments where steadiness and care exist together. This shift does not remove your strength. It refines it. You continue building what lasts. You also allow life to feel lived while you build. This is the moment where Hyperborean depth begins to breathe, where structure supports life rather than restrains it, where value includes presence, warmth, and connection. And this understanding opens the way to a life that feels solid, meaningful, and quietly alive. At the shadow point of the Hyperborean path lives a quiet and heavy truth. You learn to rely on solidity early, on structure, on duty, on what can be built, maintained, and preserved. Stability became your language of safety. Consistency became your way of loving life. This shadow appears as emotional restraint. You hold feelings carefully, sometimes deeply inside. You value reliability more than expression. You choose responsibility before vulnerability. You carry weight silently and expect yourself to endure. Inside, warmth waits behind discipline. Here is something that is rarely spoken clearly. Your avoided truth lives in tenderness, in the wish to be met emotionally without having to justify it, in the desire to soften without losing respect. You learned that strength earns trust, so you stayed strong. You learned that order creates safety, so you built order everywhere. A turning point arrives through maturity rather than rupture. You begin to sense that stability grows richer when it includes openness. You notice that sharing emotional weight strengthens bonds rather than weakens them. You allow yourself to speak needs without fear of collapse. You let relationships carry you as you carry them. This shift feels grounded and natural. You remain dependable. You remain steady. You add warmth, presence, and emotional availability to what you already hold. Your inner world gains breadth. In higher expression, Hyperborean souls embody embodied wisdom. You bring calm into chaos. You bring structure into uncertainty. You create spaces where life can unfold safely. Your presence feels anchoring because it is sincere. Relationships deepen through shared responsibility and mutual care. You offer loyalty and receive closeness. You build connection that lasts because it rests on truth rather than endurance alone. Your material life reflects continuity with space for enjoyment. Your logic brings clarity without rigidity. Your energy supports life quietly and consistently. This is the Hyperborean potential realized. Strength that includes softness, stability that includes warmth, responsibility that includes joy. Here, endurance transforms into grounded leadership, and life becomes a place where solidity and connection exist together, naturally and fully. The portal 11.11 appears here as a moment of grounded recognition. It is a space where lived experience becomes clear through calm reflection and precise language. For Hyperborean souls, the portal brings understanding to patterns of endurance, restraint, and inner discipline that have shaped relationships, work, and life choices. It allows you to see yourself with respect, without urgency, in a way that feels solid and real. For those who feel ready to continue, deeper exploration unfolds through focused activations and relationship PDFs. These materials support integration in everyday life. They help translate awareness into how you build stability, share closeness, and allow warmth to exist inside structure. This process moves steadily and safely, honoring your need for reliability and clarity. Now remain with this moment. What follows gathers everything into a single line of meaning. You carry the strength of grounded presence. You know how to endure, to protect. You move through life with restraint and seriousness because you understand consequence. Your presence brings calm. Your decisions bring order. When you commit, things become stable. In elevated expression, Hyperborean strength becomes quietly nourishing. Matter supports life rather than weighing on it. Relationships hold loyalty and trust without emotional coldness. Logic brings clarity without distance. Energy awakens gently, adding warmth and vitality to what you build. You allow closeness to exist inside safety. You allow enjoyment to exist inside responsibility. You allow life to feel warmer without losing structure. Your world becomes steady and alive at the same time. Let this recognition settle slowly. Allow it to guide how you choose, how you commit, how you open. You already know how to hold. Now you also allow yourself to receive. You are a Hyperborean soul. Your origin is shaped by endurance, structure, and inner discipline. Your destiny lives in creating a life that feels solid, trustworthy, and quietly warm from within.